Let's talk about movement pattern setting when it comes to being a really good setter. Many coaches, when they talk about setting, will talk about your hands when you're setting. Make sure your hands are up early. Make sure your hands are even on the way out. Make sure your hands are soft. All those things. A good amount of coaches will also talk about your feet. Move your feet to the ball before you set. Have those setter feet. Use your legs for power. And all those things are great, but few coaches connect the two and help you practice the two. One way to practice the two and combine them together is to do something called movement pattern setting. If you play setter, you're probably trained really well at setting from zone 7. You stand in zone 7, the passes get sent right to you, and you barely have to move before you set. In an actual game, although this sometimes happens, most of the times you got to make some sort of move before you set. And the biggest key with good setters is they get to the ball and then they're able to make a micro adjustment like a side step or a front step before they set that ball. Practicing those micro adjustments is what I call movement pattern setting. There are a couple patterns you can use. The first one is stepping to your left before you set. You have stepping right in front of you before you set, taking a step back before you set, in front of you diagonally before you set, and in front of you backwards before you set. So what you want to do is you actually want to practice making those micro adjustments before you set the ball. If you're by yourself, that's as simple as tossing the ball to where you want to go. One step to the left, wait for it, make that step, make that set. And you can do that for all directions. If I wanted to practice diagonally in front of me, I toss the ball diagonally in front of me, step back, make that step, make that set. When you're training this skill, keep in mind that the first phase is to make a quick step and then set. But once you get more advanced, you also have to practice making the step and then jump set. So you practice it the same way. You toss it where you want to go, wait for it, make your step, and then jump set. Now, if you don't have a net, I'm going to show you how to practice this from home. What I've done here is I set up a piece of tape right here to represent zone 7. Set up a piece of tape on the wall right there to represent the net. That way I can see if I'm setting the ball too tight to the net or too far away from the net. From there, you do the same thing. You start off in your X for zone 7, toss the ball to your left if you're working on your left step, make the movement, one step, and set that ball. Again, remember that you can practice in multiple ways. You want to practice in all directions, left, left back, left front, front and back. And then you want to practice making the movement and then jump setting. This is a very hard drill to do, and it takes a lot of reps, but it's going to help you in games with having better feet to the ball before you make your actual set.